All right, good morning, everyone. Phil here. Welcome back after a day away from my streams, and welcome to the PreStream podcast. Yes, yes, yes. This is going to be a momentous week, ladies and gentlemen, because starting this week, are you ready for this? We officially end January. We officially, by the end of this week, will be starting the crazy month of February, and in reality, the crazy string of new release content starts this Friday with Pokemon Legends Arceus, and every single week moving forward through the month of February, we will have multiple new releases here on the streams. It's going to be nuts. You know, it really is. It's going to be just outstanding amount of new games to try and juggle and play through. And it's going to be challenging, quite frankly. There's going to be so much new release content coming up, which is actually the polar opposite of what I've been doing for about the last month and a half, where I've just been doing a lot of downtime projects, you know, with nothing really going on at all in the realm of new releases for the last whole month of January. Now we're going to be just so busy with new stuff every single day. What I really hope is that all these games, or at least the majority of them, turn out to be good. It would really suck if, like, you have this jam-packed month, but half the games stink. You know? I hope that we actually have a month that's overloaded with great stuff. Because it's been a while. It really has been a while. Last fall, when normally you have the busiest gaming season of the year, it was a very disappointing gaming season. A lot of those games were just underwhelming, or just not necessarily feeling like the giant hyped blockbuster AAA releases like we usually get during that time of year, right? So, I hope you guys are ready. What a week we have in store for everyone here. Welcome to the PreStream podcast. Today's actually the 25th of January, 2022, Tuesday. I'm back from my day off yesterday. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, on this PreStream podcast, we will have the segment called Phil's Day Off. I'll tell you all about my super duper exciting day away from streaming yesterday. Man, it was just riveting. The amount of crazy, over-the-top zany action that I had. Yeah. You guys absolutely want to hear about it. Okay. So that being said, I told you guys a couple things. I said, number one, you guys would be voting on a game for me to play today on this very stream for when I got back from my break. And your options were 4 Game Pass games that I had played over the last couple of weeks. Some of which I'd only played just a little bit, and others I had actually had a chance to play a full stream of. And the options were as follows. Sniper Elite 4, I Am Fish, Quake, or The Forgotten City. Why I'm pointing in different directions for each game, I have no idea. But those are your 4 options, okay? You guys voting fervently, heatedly. There was I heard that a lot of people actually got up in arms, were fighting each other over my day off. They actually were on the internet meeting online communities like Reddit, places like that, and they were hashing, no, you must vote for this game for Phil to play on Tuesday. No, how dare you? You must vote for this game for Phil to play on Tuesday. None of that happened. I'm just kidding. But the results are in, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk. In 4th place, although admittedly, let me clarify this with this poll. Over 1,600 people voted. This is actually one of the highest engagement polls I've ever had on DSPGaming since I started using the community tab a few months ago. Usually we get between 1,000 to like maybe 1,500. This one got 1,600 votes. So this one actually got a ton of votes, which is great. That's really good response time for like a day or two on YouTube. So thank you for that to everyone who voted. Okay, now what I should say is thus: all the runners up were within 1 to 2% vote of each other. It was that close of a vote. But then the game that won blew them all away, okay? So in 4th place, with 21% of the vote, Quake. You know, Quake is an awesome game. Quake is a game that in 1996, when it was released on PC, was an amazing follow-up to Doom. Actually more fast-paced than Doom, gorier than Doom. A kickin' soundtrack with the 9 Inch Nails soundtrack actually in it. Among many other improvements and things. But definitely playing it, I liked playing it, but I saw how dated it is. You know what I mean? Like, I think that that's a game that people who were around for the 90s would want to see me play it eventually. Much like a few years ago when I played Doom 2 before the release of Doom Eternal. But I don't really foresee too much mainstream appeal in me doing a full playthrough of an old school FPS game like that, okay? Coming in third place, with another percent of the vote over Quake, I Am Fish. Man, I Am Fish is a pretty unique game in my opinion. A game that has a lot of fun puzzle, but platforming and exploration elements, some silliness to the way the game's, you know, made with some of the stuff that the characters are saying that are trying to get the fish and stuff. It's a really unique game, and eventually I think it's a game that I probably will end up checking out, especially because it's on Game Pass, but didn't come in this time, all right? So, the runner-up, 24% of the overall vote, Sniper Elite 4. Sorry, Sniper Elite. You know, I really liked the game. I played it the other day, and I told you guys I felt that it was pretty unique because it basically is a game that took a franchise that was more just about action-based sniping and turned it into a pure open-world stealth game, much like Metal Gear Solid. You know, we're never going to get another Metal Gear Solid game. Those ended with 5, so it looks like Sniper Elite kind of took that mantle up, right? And it actually looks great. I played a whole stream of it, and I enjoyed it, but my stream audience was very divided. Half the people loved it, half the people thought it was boring as dirt. I get it. When it's pure stealth and there's not a lot of stuff to write, there's really no plot, or next to no plot. The action is very slow-paced because it's all stealth-based, right? I get it, okay? So the game that won the poll by a resounding amount, all those other games got about between 21 and 24%. Forgotten City, the winner, got something like 35%, 36% of the vote. So, ladies and gentlemen, yes, today it is time for the Forgotten City. So, I talked a little bit about this game a few days ago. We had done it as part of my Game Pass night stream over the last week. Incredibly intriguing game. The game runs on what was originally the Skyrim engine. It was supposed to be a Skyrim mod at one point, but then it became its own game. You are someone who has amnesia, who is sucked back in time to an underground city, populated by Romans, yet everything that you find there is Greek, meaning the Romans kind of showed up later. This had already been pre-built by the Greeks, but the Romans discovered it, and they're told that there's some supernatural force in this underground city that basically keeps everything within order, because if you break the golden rule, everyone will be turned to gold and die. Now, what is the golden rule? They don't know. The Romans don't actually know what it means. They're assuming, oh, it means don't kill anyone, don't hurt anyone, don't steal, but no one actually knows the real criteria of the golden rule. It's very confusing. So they're basically just trying to survive, not actually knowing what the real criteria are. It's a mystery game. You go around interrogating people, you find secrets, you try to use dialogue options to essentially change things in the world to try to figure out what's going on. There's a big political battle going on between two politicians, and you got to try to keep one in power and the other one not. And it's funny because if at any time you break the golden rule, which you're not even sure what the criteria is, everyone starts turning to gold, and some golden statue people start attacking you and trying to kill you. And you have to get the hell out of there by going through a time warp and resetting the entire thing so that you can start over and try to figure out the mystery again. Now, much like a game like 12 Minutes from last year that I played in the summer, this is a game where there's no way you could do it all in one run. You have to continuously go back with more knowledge that you uncovered during your last run to ask new dialogue options, try out new things. Any items you pick up, you keep for your next run. So what's cool about that is, oh, I found a device that allows me to zip glide around the town. Well, now you can do that in your second run, and you can actually go to new areas that maybe you couldn't the first time around. So it's definitely an interesting game in that regard. It seems pretty damn unique and fun. And I played it for about 2 hours the other night. People were intrigued enough, they voted in droves for this game today. So that is what we're doing today, the Forgotten City here on the first stream. And I hope that you guys will enjoy a nice, fun, very unique kind of atmosphere. Is there going to be a bunch of action? No. Is there going to be a lot of interesting story and mystery? Yes. And I like that about games. Like any game where you don't really know what's going on, you're trying to get to the bottom of things. You're trying to solve mysteries and puzzles, but also, you know, go through time loop mechanics to try to do things differently to get a better outcome. Like, it's going to be just as interesting, I feel, as 12 Minutes last summer. Okay? So I hope you guys will join me for today's main gameplay stream. Thank you for voting, everyone who did. over the last week. I really, really appreciate that, okay? Now, another thing I told you guys we were going to do today, I told you we were going to go through the game release schedule. And I was going to tell you about all the new game release dates and everything coming out for the next month so that we know exactly what I'm doing on what day. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I didn't get to that yesterday. I had a lot of stuff to do. And then when I came home, I just wanted to relax with my wife, so I didn't do that. We're going to do that likely tomorrow. Definitely one day this week we're doing it, but likely we're doing it tomorrow, okay? I got to have a little bit of extra time here to sit down, look at the actual game releases and write them all out and everything. And then I will let you guys know what we're doing over the next month, okay? And I apologize I don't have that for you today. Would have liked to, but it is what it is. I'm busy as hell, you know, trying to do a bunch of stuff. During my, you know, I actually added a new piece of fan art today, which is really nice. We have someone who actually contacted me behind the scenes and said, Phil, I'm a huge fan of when you play fighting games, and I know you're playing King of Fighters 15 next month. Will you, or would you like some artwork? I said, sure. And they said, well, what's your favorite team? I said, well, honestly, now I don't have a favorite team. When I first started playing King of Fighters in the 90s, the first team that I used seriously was the Ikari Warriors team, which is Ralph Clark and Hyder. I really liked that team. But over time, I branched out and tried using other teams who I really like too. And in this one, I don't even know who my team is going to be. So it's like, all right, well, just based off of that, I'm going to make a nice picture of Ikari Warriors. And he did. And it was really cool. And that's now added to the pre-stream. You may not have seen it on the pre-stream today if you weren't paying attention, but it is in there, new fan art. Now, what I will say is this, okay? Two things. With all the new games coming out in February, okay? As I said, within the next day or two, we're going to go through the whole game's release list for February so you guys know exactly what I'm doing in the next month. The first new game I'm playing is Pokemon Legends Arceus this Friday, but then moving forward, like every week, there's 2 new releases. It's a crazy amount of games, all right? So that being said, okay, if you're someone who has artistic prowess, if you're someone who is skilled with graphic design, and you would like to help around here on the streams and maybe add some fan art, I would absolutely positively love that. Now, there's so many games coming out. Pokemon, Sifu, Dying Light 2, Horizon Forbidden West, King of Fighters 15, Elden Ring. Those are the ones off the top of my head that I want to play and likely will be playing in the next month. There's probably other games too, but what I'm saying is, hey, you want to make some fan art? There's your subject matter right there. Make some fan art of those games. All you got to do is make it 16:9 resolution so it fits my stream here, and we're good to go. I just add it to the stream. We can have it playing during the commercial breaks and during the pre-stream and everything. It'd be really neat to have a good variety of new fan art for the new month with all these crazy amount of new games coming out. Okay? Awesome. So thank you to the person. I'm not going to say their name because so many people who try to contribute to the streams get harassed online by a bunch of no-life losers. But thank you to the person who made the King of Fighters 15 fan art. I really appreciate that. Also, another way, and this is really, really important, one way that you can definitely help in the next month, you can contribute the credits for either Xbox Live or the PlayStation Network so I can actually afford all these games coming out. Because with 5-6 new games that I'm buying the next month, each one costing anywhere from like $40 to $60 each, you know, that's a significant amount of money to invest in the games. If you want to help defray that cost, you can, okay? How can you? It's very, very simple, okay? What you can do is you go on Amazon.com. On Amazon, they sell digital codes for Xbox Live and PlayStation Network, all right? Buy one of those codes and email it to me, darksidephil@hotmail.com, okay? That's all you got to do. It's that simple. And people do this sometimes behind the scenes every once in a while. At this point, a lot of the people who donated in the fall, thank you so much. You helped with the cost of a lot of those games I played last year. But all that has been used. So now you got this giant new slew of games coming out. It would absolutely help if people could donate on those networks. And by the way, please keep it to Xbox Live and keep it to PlayStation Network. Reason I say that, if you send me Nintendo credits, I'm not playing any of these games on Nintendo. Pokemon, I'm already good. I'm already taking care of it. So now we got to take care of all the games in February, okay? Now, what games are on what console? It's a good question. The way I'm seeing it, games like Sifu, Dying Light 2, Elden Ring, I'm probably playing on Xbox Series X. But games such as, Horizon Forbidden West, it's a freaking a PlayStation exclusive. Got to play it on PS5, okay? And after talking with you guys about all of this, basically, I think I'm going to play King of Fighters 15 on PlayStation. And here's why. People are under the impression that with a game like this, there will be a bigger player base on the PlayStation than there would be on the Xbox Series X. Now, it doesn't matter to me. I have a joystick for both consoles. So either one, it doesn't really matter, okay? But the thing is, I don't want to buy on a console, and now there's half as many players, and it's not as good of an experience. And people really do seem to be under the impression the PlayStation will have a better experience overall for King of Fighters. So initially, I'm going to get King of Fighters 15 on the PlayStation 5, all right? But if there's potential, like let's say I play it on PS5 and it's a really good experience, and I'm having a good time with it, and I'm playing it consistently, and basically we're having a good time, okay? Then essentially what will happen is maybe I'll buy it for Xbox 2 in the long term. But I definitely don't want to go crazy with, buying the game twice, and then the same thing happens that's happened with King of Fighters 14. For those of you who don't know, many, many years ago, I did cover King of Fighters 14. I did. I bought it and I played it. I actually liked the game. The one thing everyone complained about is the graphics were terrible. I do think that the character designs were stupid. They made them these like weird deformed versions of the characters. I don't know why they did that. I really feel like that's what kind of threw the game off, because the character designs were oddball. This time around, they kind of went back to the classic designs. Okay? So anyway, after playing the game for like a week and a half, no one was playing it anymore. I wanted to keep playing the game. I had played through the arcade mode, and I was trying out various new characters online. There was no more competition. No matter what I did, I could only find like the same 5 to 10 people playing at any given time. There was no one else playing the game. It was a dead game after 2 weeks. So it sucked. I bought the game and I couldn't even play it at length. People all the time say, Phil, why don't you play a variety of games? Here was a case where I wanted to play a different fighting game, and I actually couldn't because no one was playing it anymore. So obviously, I hope that doesn't happen with King of Fighters 15, right? If I'm going to invest money in a new fighting game and I want to play it at length, obviously I want competition. I'm hoping that it's not a game that dies within 2 weeks and now it's dead. But that's what I mean. Why would I buy it for PlayStation and Xbox, and the next thing you know, the game's dead in 2 weeks? Now I doubly wasted my money, right? So yes, if you would like to help out, please, either PlayStation Network or Xbox Live Credits. I was just told Sifu is PlayStation exclusive. I didn't know that. So it sounds like I'll be playing Sifu, Horizon Forbidden West, and King of Fighters 15 on the PlayStation 5. So my PlayStation 5 will actually be dusted off and played a significant amount in February. While on the Xbox side of things, I'll be playing Dying Light 2 and Elden Ring, and maybe other things depending on what else comes out in the month. Of course, keep in mind, other playthroughs such as Skyrim and stuff like that are going to also be going on at the same time. So, very nice. Maddie, there is no YouTube Christmas money. I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. Did you pre-order the games with your YouTube Christmas money? First of all, there's no reason to pre-order games digitally at all. It gives you no advantage. Maybe you'll get one additional digital unlock. There's no reason to ever pre-order a game anymore like that. It was one thing when you were reserving a copy physically at a store. Pre-ordering a game digitally is scamming yourself. If you're wasting your time and money and giving the money to these people early, what are they doing that for? You're getting nothing out of it. But no, there's no YouTube Christmas money. What the hell are you even talking about? What? Gee, on Christmas, was there a giant bonus for people who streamed on YouTube? Did we all make like $5,000 extra or something I'm not aware of? Because I sure didn't get that. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I really don't. YouTube Christmas money. That's very interesting. Oh my goodness. No, you want to know where my money goes to this time of year? I'll tell you. Taxes. Paying back taxes and paying the final tax payment before I can file my new taxes for the year, and paying my tax attorney, who I've been, paying gradually over the last year for all the work that he does for me, and I'm still owing money before I can then have to prepay so that he'll file my taxes for this year. So all my money is gone. I made all this money. Wrong. All that money goes immediately out the door to bills and other things. I'm not even kidding you. I just sent a $1,000 payment yesterday on my day off. I had to make a $1,000 payment. Just zoop, gone. And that's life when you're an adult. Your money just whoop goes out the door. It comes in, it goes right out. There's no, oh my God, I got a giant bonus payment that I could go frivolously spending money all over the place. It hasn't happened. You want to know the truth? Last time that happened was before I moved out here. Truthfully. Like as soon as I moved out here, that was it. As soon as I got this place, it's a nice house, but man, expensive mortgage and all these responsibilities, these bills and everything. And sadly, my YouTube channel getting hit so badly with all the trolling and everything that I lost a lot of my income. And I never really recovered and got back to the level where I was many years ago before I moved out here. And there you go. So, it is what it is. But anyway, yeah, that's it. Boop. You know, it's hilarious people who just want to talk about my personal shit and say, oh, Phil made a ton of money. The money's already paid bills. It's gone. You know, any bonus that, oh, he made bonus money. I didn't make a ginormous amount of bonus money over the holidays. In fact, normally I would have made bonus money. Didn't make it this year. Want to know why? Because what did I do in November? I'll tell you what I did. I played the Grand Theft Auto Trilogy with the music on, so I made no ad revenue on that. I played Horizon Forbidden West with the music on, so I made no ad revenue on that. And I played Guardians of the Galaxy with the music on, so I made no ad revenue on that. So where I would have actually made bonus money, I made zero. I went from, oh, I actually get an increase to I lost money that month from what I would usually make. So there's nothing. People are just dumbasses who say dumb shit. Okay. How can you send me art? Email me, darksidefil@hotmail.com. Just send it to me via my email and let me know it's coming. Say, hey, I'm going to work on a piece of art for you. You know, and we'll talk about it, and then when you send it, that way it won't hit my spam filter because I'll know it's coming. Okay? Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, we got a couple things to talk about on today's pre-stream. What I'd like to do very briefly is talk about my schedule for the week so you know what's coming up. Then what I'd like to do is talk about my day off, and then I have one interesting little story I want to cover, and then we'll just get to shout-outs and get started here with the Forgotten City. Okay? Okay. You misspoke with Horizon Forbidden West. I did. What did I say, Darcy? Did I say it was on Xbox? I wonder what I said. Well, anyway. So, for the month of February, just so you know, it's going to be Pokemon on this Friday. That's the new game coming out next. Then I think it's Sifu on PlayStation. Then it'll be Dying Light 2 on Xbox. Then it'll be Horizon Forbidden West on PlayStation. Then it'll be Xbox. Then it'll be King of Fighters on Xbox. No, King of Fighters on PlayStation. Forget it. It's too complicated. We'll go through the schedule later this week. I can't even keep track of it in my own head. I seriously can't keep track of it in my own fucking head. Okay. So, this week, what are we doing? Let's talk about the schedule for this week. I said I played Horizon. I think I meant Forza. I did. I meant Forza Horizon 5. Forza Horizon 5 is the other game I played in November with the music on it. I made no money on it. All right, let's go to the schedule. I'm opening up my schedule right now to refresh myself. Today, it is the Forbidden City per your votes. Now, people have said the Forbidden City is 5 hours long, but if you take your time, if you explore, if you look for side quests and side stuff to do, it's actually around 8 hours long. I've played it for 2 hours, but those 2 hours were very, introductory hours for me. I didn't really learn much. I just kind of learning the ins and outs of how the game works. So I would say today is really the first session of it. I would say probably today and maybe another session of it, and that would be the game. So I'm excited for that. Forgotten City today. Thank you for voting. Very excited to play Forgotten City with you all today. Okay? Later tonight, the late stream tonight at 6:45 p.m. Pacific time is actually pretty momentous for those of us who've been following this playthrough. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight is the conclusion and final stream ever of Lost Judgment. Wait, Lost Judgment? Yes, I'm still playing Lost Judgment, but I promise you tonight is the final stream. What do we have left in the game? We have one major side quest line with the ninjas, or ninja. I don't even know because I didn't do it yet. We have one more VR mission to do. Once those are done, really all that's left is the hidden squirrel stuff in the city. And then there's one more, I guess, of the social media mystery missions, but no one seems to be clear on how to unlock it. Everyone's confused. I tried doing it last stream. It didn't work. And I was like, man, I wasted too much time on this. So tonight is it. It is the final stream of Lost Judgment tonight. So for those of you who've enjoyed the playthrough since September, please come by tonight. Give it a nice send-off, a good goodbye, because it was an amazing game. I had a great amount of fun playing it. But man, it's time to finish it off so we can move on to the new stuff, okay? Now tomorrow, I'm going back to Skyrim for the main gameplay stream. As you know, I finally arrived at Winterhold. Winterhold is great because there's tons of great quests that take place there and or as a result of being there. I am a magic builds primarily, so me actually learning new spells and stuff and unlocking new magical abilities at Winterhold is going to be great. I can't wait to do the Winterhold stuff with you all tomorrow, okay? Tomorrow night is another completion, all right? We're going to finish up Resident Evil 4. So we got to finish up the Separate Ways post-game campaign with Ada Wong, and then apparently there's another mini campaign called Operation Ada that's 30 minutes long. We're finishing all that off tomorrow, and finishing it off strong on the night stream. Okay, I'm excited to see how it all ends and say goodbye to Resident Evil 4, which is really exciting playthrough over this month. Then on Thursday, it'll be up to you. You'll decide, do you want to see more Skyrim right away, or do you want another stream of the Forgotten City? I will let you choose what I actually play on Thursday. We'll probably do a poll to determine it overnight, okay? Then Thursday night is my next Halo Infinite multiplayer stream. The last couple streams have been great, and I'm looking forward to more. I'm actually really working hard to unlock all the stuff that's freebie collectibles and or cosmetics in this event that they're doing, Cyber Showdown, I think it's called. I'm so close to getting the Mohawk. I need to do 2 more unlocks or whatever. So I'm going to play more, and hopefully we can do that. If not Thursday night, then the last time I play it over the weekend. Then on Friday, it's the premiere of Pokemon Legends Arceus on the main gameplay stream. I'm hearing so many good things about this game at this point. I'm very excited to start playing it on Friday. Friday night will be my usual weekly late night session of Street Fighter fun called Friday Night Fights. Then on Saturday, it's going to be more Pokemon Legends Arceus. I'm going to play it 2 streams in a row. Saturday night is going to be Game Pass night for this week, where again, you guys will be voting on all the different Game Pass games that I've touched upon and or marked for future playthroughs. You'll be able to choose 2 new ones for me to play this coming Saturday night. And then on Sunday, it's going to be either more Skyrim or, again, maybe a new Game Pass game that I tried out on Saturday, or if you guys want more Forgotten City. So it all depends. I'll put the power in your hands again, let you vote. And then it's going to be Halo Infinite on Sunday night. And that is my streaming week, okay? Next week is when we really start getting heavy into the new releases. And I hope you guys are excited for that, because I know I am, okay? Cool. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, now it is time for the segment that I like to do once a week on the PreStream podcast. It's a segment that everyone looks forward to, one of the highest rated segments of all time that I've ever done. All right? Ladies and gentlemen, it is time. Phil's Day Off. Oh yes, Phil's Day Off. Now, this week, unlike last week where my wife and I actually went out and did some stuff, this week, we didn't have a lot to do outside of like, how can I put it? We had a lot of busy work shit to do, but we didn't have any real money or anything to really do much else with. So, that being said, because we didn't have a lot, we were like, well, we'll have a day where basically we kind of stay home, but I'll run out and do all the errands and things that I need to do. That's exactly what we did. In the morning, we ordered breakfast from a place and got it delivered, and it was just, I think my wife got pancakes with Marionberries, like a Marionberry topping, and like eggs over easy, and some turkey sausage, and some fruit. And then I got a couple eggs, and what did I get? Like some sourdough toast. Very basic breakfast, nothing special. You know, just a basic breakfast, got it delivered. It was good. And then I had to go out for the day, and I had a lot of stuff that I had to do. But, you know, I'm not going to tell you every little thing that I did when I was out. But the usual shit that you usually do when I'm out. I go grocery shopping, you know, pet store, pet supplies, and stuff like that when I'm out and about. So it's really weird around here because, as you guys know, I told you this a month ago. Yeah, it's been a month since we had the snow. Yeah, 1 month ago, the day after Christmas, we had snow here in Washington State. Our whole state got thrown off. All our supply chains broke down. There was one major highway/pass where all the delivery trucks drive through. And I'm serious, like, some places still haven't caught up. It's so odd because you'll go to the store and, like, half the stuff is fully stocked. The shelf is to the brim with all the product. And then you go to another part and the shelf's completely empty. And you're like, well, why is this product here and not this? Well, that truck came in and that truck didn't. It's been a month. Yeah, it's been a month. And the trucks are still so backlogged here in Washington State that it's weird because we had to keep getting substitute products. You know, like, for example, my wife and I don't eat a lot of red meat because of me and my medical condition. Can't eat a lot of red meat because of uric acid levels. I have to eat a lot of poultry and stuff like that. So we like to get substitute products. We don't get meatballs, we get chicken meatballs, okay? And we really like a certain brand of chicken meatballs. We've been buying them for no exaggeration, like 2 straight years. We usually get them, you know, once every other week or whatever. And we have pasta with meatballs or whatever. It's really good. It's much better for you than actual red meat or pork meatballs. The chicken is lower in fat, lower in acid, lower in a lot of things. Better, and just as much protein, so it's just as good, and they taste amazing. Okay. Oh, we don't have those this week. You don't have them this week? No. Oh, okay. So what are we gonna do? Well, I had to grab like chicken sausage. I've never had this before. It's sausage made from chicken. I'm sure it tastes different because you eat a piece of sausage versus a meatball. They taste very different. So we're gonna try that this week. And it was a lot of things like that. We had to get substitutions. Not terrible, but it's a little weird when, man, I'm so used to getting this. It's a staple that we eat all the time, and we can't get it this week for whatever reason. They just don't have it. So you got to get a substitution here, a substitution there. It can be frustrating when you're used to having things as ingredients in your home cooking, and you just can't get that ingredient anymore. And then you have to try to figure out ways around it, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, depending on the item, obviously. Like some things you can easily replace, and other things like, well, if you just don't have it, you just don't have it. So either you just have something more plain, or you have to find something to replace it, but is it going to be as good? You never know. So this week, I'm trying to think of all the things that we were getting. I would say, out of all the things we usually go grocery shopping for, probably about 10 to 20% they didn't have. And I had to get substitutions. And in some cases, it's not that big of a deal. Oh, no, it's the brand that we like they didn't have. We had to get a substitute brand. But sometimes when you have to buy an entirely different product, it can be a little different. Obviously, these are all first world problems. It's not a big deal. But it's just a little weird that, again, this has been an issue here for a month based off of snow a month ago. Like, a month ago. Really? You're still having supply chain issues because there was snow a month ago. It's pretty ridiculous, okay? But anyway, it was a pretty basic day out. It was nothing too special going on. It was more just me. I had to go out for about, and with the amount of shit I had to do, no exaggeration, between like having to drive across town to go to the pet store and a few other places where I had to pick up odds and ends, and then going grocery shopping. I was out for like 3+ hours yesterday, just driving around doing busy work. That's fucking boring shit. Now, my wife, as you guys know, has a new work schedule. She's been working a lot, and her days off are way different now. That's why my day off is currently Mondays. So basically she works a lot, and then she has only 1 or 2 days off where she has to recuperate. And so, yes, it's nice to go out with her on a Monday, but sometimes, like this last Monday, she was like, I just want to stay home. I'm so beat. Like, go out, stay home then. I'm not going to force you to go out. What are we going to do anyway if we don't have a lot of money, right? So she stayed home while I went out and did all the fucking busy work shit. That was really annoying. And then when I came home, we had a nice relaxing night together where she played a lot of Skyrim. And that was kind of fun because she's doing quests and things that I haven't done in my current run of Skyrim. And you might say, oh, well, that's spoiling. Well, I already played the game and did all the side quests. It's not like she's doing side quests I've never seen before. I played the entirety of Skyrim, and it was a completionist run where I did every faction and everything. So yesterday, she was actually doing Thieves Guild stuff, and she got through the whole Nightingale quest line, which, man, I forgot how long that shit is. Like, I watched her play it for a few hours, and she wasn't even done with it yet. It really is crazy how immersive Skyrim can get if you're doing a lot of the guilds and the quest lines and things like that, and how long they can take. So it was pretty fun to watch her play. We relaxed and had a good time. Jasper is always happy when we're both home and able to kind of hang out with him. He really likes that, as opposed to only one of us being with him because one of the other one is working or whatever, right? Is the stream still working? It is. Wow, that was weird. The stream said no data, and then it came back to excellent connection. The stream's still working, right, guys? There was no blip or anything? That was weird. I don't know. YouTube's been having a few weird things go on recently. So, I'm just going to keep an eye on it, but it's working, right? Okay. You're giving me a heart attack here. Yeah, it actually said that there was a little bit of frame droppage, but then it came right back. So. Okay, we're good. Weird. Alright, anyway, the only other notable thing is, as I was driving around yesterday, and I should say this, I've noticed this, in the last year, things have been, okay. How can I preface this? COVID really changed the world and screwed a lot of stuff up. Now, let me give you some perspective here, alright? Kat and I always used to take a day off on a weekday on purpose. The reason that we did that is because we found that when we went out on weekdays, okay, there would be way less people out and about. If you go out on a weekday midday, most people are at school or at work. The roads were mostly empty, and it allowed us to essentially have a day out where it was still fun because we could go everywhere we wanted to go. We could eat out. We could do whatever we wanted. And since most people were busy with their other real life shit and usually can't have a normal weekday off like that, we had a great time out with not a lot of people, no traffic. You know what I mean? Go to a restaurant, there's no wait because there's almost no one there. We actually liked that. You know, some people, I want to go out when it's so busy. I want to go out on the weekends when the people are out and about. Fuck that. We're the opposite. We want to go out when there's no one out there so that way we can just do everything we want to do. I don't know what happened with COVID, but I swear to God, it doesn't matter what day you go out. There's crazy amounts of people everywhere. Like, what happened with COVID that people don't have to go to school and work anymore? Like, did everyone just quit their jobs and now they have free money or something? Like, I don't understand what's going on because, like, I'll give you a perfect example, okay? Yesterday, it's midday. It's probably like maybe 1, 2 p.m. So it's not even like, people are getting out of work or whatever. It's early. So I'm driving to go, I was going to go pet store and a few other things I needed to do and then go grocery shopping. The fucking traffic was insane. It's like there's people everywhere. The whole roads are congested, right? And just to give you some perspective, the people aren't driving any better. They're driving fucking worse. Like every asshole now. It's like Christmas all year now. That's what it's like out there. I'm like, what is going on? I thought that it was supposed to be, people are staying home and trying to stay healthy. Or on the flip side of that, people are back to work now. Like, what is happening that everywhere's so super busy everywhere now? Like, I don't understand this because it used to be so different, right? And it drives me nuts because it doesn't make, I don't know, maybe I just don't understand what's going on. Because you would think if everything's back to normal and people are going back to work, right? Great. Why are you not at work? Why are you on the roads driving around all fucking day on a weekday? Like, what is going on here? Why are you not at a job? And then on top of that, if they're not at jobs, then where the fuck are they getting their money from? Is there some free source of money I'm not aware of that everyone's been drawing from for 2 years? They don't have to work anymore? I'm a little confused. All right? I just don't get it. It's confusing. But with this increased amount of people that are all over the roads and everywhere I go, they're all, the assholes come out. And like I said, usually this kind of thing happens only around the holidays, but now it's like never ending. It's seriously like never fucking ending anymore. So I'm driving, green light, I'm driving. A guy on a fucking motorcycle in the other lane cuts in front of me to make a turn. Like, I'm not kidding you, I had to slam on my fucking brakes to not hit this fucking guy. Like, what are you, an asshole? And the answer is yes. You're driving a fucking motorcycle and you're too dumb to realize how vulnerable you are. You're cutting off cars. If I hit you, you die. Do you not understand it? When you're on a motorcycle, you're not in a car. You can't get into a fender bender and everything's okay, your insurance. You get hit by a fucking car, you're dead. You fucking idiot. Seriously. So, get this. This is a good one. I'm driving. It's a 2-lane road, okay? And a 3rd lane emerges on the left-hand side of the road in the middle because people turn onto the highway there. So basically, it's a turning lane just to get onto the highway. Sadly, at certain times of the day, this lane backs up. It used to only be around rush hour, but now it's every fucking moment of every day. Because like I said, I don't know where these people are coming from, but the roads are full of people at all times now. Okay? So it's like 3 p.m., and the road looks like it's rush hour, even though it's not. So I'm just driving. I'm in the right lane, okay? To the left of me and slightly in front of me is an SUV. And then to the left of that SUV is the turning lane to get on the highway. Well, the turning lane is backed all the way up, kind of almost veering into the lane. So this person who's right, so I'm here, they're here, without looking, without turning on a signal, okay, literally is looking at the backed up cars and swerves around the backed up car in front of me, just without looking. Like, they didn't look at all. They were going to hit me. I had to slam on my brakes. It's the second time. The same driving trip. I had to slam on my fucking brakes. I'm like, and the car fucking cuts me off like this just to go around one car and then goes right back to their lane. I go, who the fuck is this? So I speed up and I'm looking. I swear to you, I swear to God, it's a tiny, elderly Asian woman doing this. La 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 la. I'm not making it up. She's singing a song, driving the car. She's not looking at the road. She has her head up like this, singing at the ceiling. La 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 la. I was like, what the fuck? Who gave her a fucking SUV to drive? No wonder I was got murdered. She's not even looking at the fucking road. Oh my god. You drive me nuts. It really, because again, it didn't used to be like this. I used to purposely go out on weekdays, midday, to avoid this. I know this is the kind of shit that's on the roads all the time during the week on the weekends. So I purposely said, no, I'm going to go out on a different time. Now it's just like this constantly. Every fucking asshole is out there on the road. It's like, why aren't you at work? Really? Like, how are you paying for gas for your giant gas-guzzling SUV so you can drive around the road like this? Like, what is going on? I don't understand it. I just don't. It drives me bonkers. But it doesn't seem like it's changing. They keep saying, oh, things are going to get back to normal. How? It's not normal now? You tell me it's going to get worse than this. Really? I don't know, man. I just scratch my head and like, I don't know. Because again, it was never like this. Seriously. And when I moved out here, I told you guys, one of the things I actually like about Washington State versus Connecticut, where I used to live, is that there's just way less people out here per square foot or whatever it is it's called. The population is dense, but there's enough space out here that everything's not cramped. When I lived in Connecticut, it felt like you were living in a fucking sardine can. You go on the road, every road's bumper to bumper, all times of day, no exceptions. You try to drive across town, it's going to take you 45 minutes, even though your town is small. Because that's how it was in Connecticut. There's too many fucking people there. You go anywhere to eat, you got to wait fucking an hour to get in. It's ridiculous. That's how it was in Connecticut, like monstrously overpopulated. When I moved out here, it felt like it was relieving. Like, wow, there's so many fewer people out here, and the traffic isn't that bad. And if you're smart with the way you do things, like going out on a weekday, you can completely avoid crowds. And now it's like, no, there's just no fucking way. Okay, there's just no fucking way that you can avoid it anymore. This pandemic somehow, I don't know how it did this. I really don't understand. How did a pandemic make it so that people don't have to work? I'm at a loss. But anyway, that was mostly my day off. Like I said, came home, spent time with Kat, watched her play Skyrim, relaxed, had a good time, and nothing too much of note. Nothing too crazy happened during my day off this week, which was nice. It was a more relaxing day, which I appreciated. I like having a relaxing day every now and again. So, okay. This is funny because some people say, well, some people work at home. If you work at home, how are you driving on the road? You see my point. It doesn't matter if you're working in an office or you're working at home, you're working. These people in their cars are not working. They're driving. That's different. You see my point now. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, one final thing I'd like to talk about on today's PreStream podcast. All right? It's kind of funny. It's something that I've noticed as a pattern over the past maybe 5 or so years. But in particular, I made an observation yesterday that I wanted to talk about on the podcast today. Okay. By the way, guys, I haven't talked about this at all this morning, but thank you to everyone joining the PreStream podcast. It's good to see you here, back from the day off. If you like the content, if you like the podcast, please give it a like here on YouTube. I'm trying to get at least 100 likes on every single stream that I do. I feel like that'll give the channel way more engagement and hopefully get more people to check out my content. So thank you to the over 60 people who already liked the stream. Again, if you're having a good time, please like it, okay? Same thing if you're watching this on demand on YouTube. Please give it a like if you're enjoying the podcast and leave comments. The comments help, okay? Okay. All right, so one thing that I've definitely noticed, all right, over the course of, like, let's say the last 5 to 10 years, as games went way more digital, okay, what a lot of games have done is they have chosen to regularly release content digitally for them. And in some cases, it's released as a season pass. In some cases, it's individual little expansions. It really depends on the game, right? If you're playing a game like Destiny 2, then they're going to release their content in major expansion outing. Boom, buy this for like 20, $30 and get a giant amount of content all at once. But there's other games out there that after just, a few months, oh, here's a new character. Here's a new cosmetic. Here's a new game mode. And you got to download and piecemeal buy what you want over time. And then what these games do is after like a certain amount of content has been released, then they'll sell you like a bundle of all of that content together. And that way you don't have to buy each one individually. Okay? And over the years, I've seen many different games do it differently. You can have some games that actually add a ton of value if you wait, and then you buy like the special edition of the game that has like a ridiculous amount of content that if you had been buying it, all along, boom, 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 okay, you probably spend like $200-$300. But if you wait 2 years after the game's out, you could buy the special edition that has all the content for like $40. So you got a huge discount, but you just didn't get to play it when it was new, you see. So I definitely can see different value. One of the things that I think is one of the worst abuses of this kind of content distribution over digital networks is the fucking games that sell so many cosmetics that in order to get them all, you would spend like $1,000. And I think one of the franchises that everyone says is the most infamous for this is Dead or Alive. That the Dead or Alive franchise releases an outfit, then a costume, cosmetic like a bow, or a fucking weapon that attaches to your body, and there's another costume, and then there's this and that. And if you actually add it all up, like, oh, I want everything in Dead or Alive. Oh, it's like $2,700. What? It's crazy. Okay, it is nuts. It's over the top, just insane. That they do this shit. So, yeah. And the thing is, I usually don't partake in this shit. I don't. If I'm going to play a game, I play the base version. So there are some exceptions where maybe a game will have a piece of expansion content later on I want to check out. But in most cases, I don't buy season passes anymore. I certainly don't buy the cosmetics, right? If there's cosmetics that are unlockable in the game or whatever, then I'll get them. But I definitely don't spend any money on that kind of stuff. And thank goodness. Because so many people get caught up in that, nickel and dimed by these companies. It's bad. It's very bad. That people will find themselves hooked by that formula. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be careful. You do. You have to be careful about that kind of shit because it's a slippery slope. Oh man, I want every cosmetic. Oops, how much money did I just fucking spend on this game, right? But anyway, the thing that I want to talk about this morning is, in particular, I follow certain people on social media who post up about deals when it comes to gaming, game peripherals, this kind of stuff. Why? Because, well, a year or two ago, I was looking to buy a PlayStation 5 and an Xbox Series X. These were the people who were constantly posting up about how to get them. So I basically wanted to stay in the know about that. But now I just kind of keep following them. There's like a good 2, 3, 4 people who I just kind of follow on Twitter who constantly post up these deals. All right? So yesterday, one of them, and by the way, I'll give him a shout out, Wario64. He posted up a lot of great game deals, and, I appreciate that. I don't think I've ever bought one of them, but it's cool to see what's out there, especially because I like to be in the know about this kind of stuff for my viewing audience. So he posted up that there is currently, I guess, a sale going on in regards to Street Fighter V on Steam, or the PC version of the game. Now, for those who don't know, Street Fighter V, actually the version that most competitive players play is the PC version. After extensive testing over the years, they found that this version has the least input lag, and honestly is only really the most viable way to play the game online. If you try to play the game on consoles online, it's fucking so full of shit-ass lag, you can't play it. It doesn't play competitively. You have to be playing it on PC to even get any kind of a competitive experience out of the game. Okay? By the way, my chat has completely frozen, which is weird because there was a ton of people talking and now it froze. Let me see if I refresh it, if it fixes itself. It did. It was just temporarily frozen. That was weird. So anyway, that being said, he posts this up, and I'm looking at it. And you know me, guys. I don't like Street Fighter V. I'm being honest here. I just don't like the game. Since its launch, it sucked. It had one of the worst fighting game launches in history. Months after they finally patched it to work, it still sucked. The input lag was terrible. The game sucked for a year. Then they fixed the input lag. The gameplay still sucked. Then they added more characters. It still sucked. I just hate the game. I think it's the worst numbered Street Fighter ever made. Yes, that includes Street Fighter 3. They could have done a much better job. And basically, the people who made the game were hacks. They didn't have the skill of the people who had previously made Street Fighter games. and they smashed together a rushed piece of crap that they just kept trying to fix and fix and fix over the years, and it never was good. But the thing is about this competitive Street Fighter community, they are very stubborn. They don't want the games that they feel are if people in the Street Fighter community are like, man, Street Fighter's the one that started it all. We can't let this die. So they'll play the worst fucking games. Seriously, they will play the worst games to keep Street Fighter alive. Luckily for me, I don't have to worry about that shit anymore. I'm a variety content creator and streamer. I don't rely on Street Fighter. And if you take a look, since Street Fighter V has existed, right? Take a look at how I covered Street Fighter 4 versus how I covered Street Fighter 5. Street Fighter 4, I covered every major expansion. I played it a ton. I did casual matches, ranked matches, going to tournaments, did all kinds of fun stuff. Street Fighter 5, I just fucking hate it. You know, I didn't bother with it, really. I played it for like a few months, dropped it. Oh, expansion, dropped it. You know what I mean? Like, it just wasn't worth my time. Okay? So that being said, see, this is hilarious. Devil Trigger. Oh, don't talk out of your butt. Pros like Street Fighter 5. Wrong. Current pros like Street Fighter 5. Current pros, meaning people who literally just started playing games competitively in the last decade. People who were around for the first 4 fucking games usually don't like Street Fighter 5. So talk out of your butt some more. Okay. So all that being said, Street Fighter 5, all right? Let's say today, right now, you wanted to buy Street Fighter 5. Maybe you felt now's a good time to get in on it. By the way, it was official. They just announced in November they are no longer making any other content for Street Fighter 5 at all. None. The game is done in development. No more fixes, patches, nothing. It is as now. It's done. They're now working officially full force on Street Fighter 6. So the game is done. A good advantage of that is you know what you're playing now is the full game. There will be no other things that will rebalance or change it. You won't have to spend any more money. If you buy all the content now, you have all the content for Street Fighter 5. So maybe some people just wait until the end of its life cycle and you figure, well, it'll still be popular for another year and a half until Street Fighter 6 comes out. Maybe I'll jump in now. Okay? So, this Twitter account posts up sale on all the content for Street Fighter 5. Okay? So allow me to show you what that entails, because I actually have it right here. So here we are. I'm actually going to move over here a little bit so you can still see me while I talk about this. So here is all the content for Street Fighter V that you can purchase, okay? First of all, Street Fighter V Champion Edition on Steam is $14.99. $15. Not bad. An old fighting game, and the game, you know, originally the beta released in, what was it, 2015? Full game, I think, released in 2016. You know, so the game is 5-6 years old. You'd think it wouldn't be too expensive, right? So, okay, $15. That's not bad. And by the way, Champion Edition was the last official disc version of this game that was ever sold. Meaning you can't buy another disc version of the game. Champion Edition was the last one they ever released, okay? Well, there's the Champion Edition Upgrade Kit bundle. And that's, what is it, $11.99? Okay. The Upgrade Kit bundle, what is that? If I'm buying Champion Edition for $14.99, why would I need to get a Champion Edition Upgrade Kit bundle? Okay. Now, hold on. By the way, I'm exploring this from the perspective of someone who has never played Street Fighter V before and wants to get into it, right? I imagine that I am not Darkside Phil. I'm just a common person, a common gamer. I want to get into Street Fighter V and play it now, and I'm trying to figure out how can I get the game and all of its content, okay? So I'm just looking at, this is the listing right now of all the things you can buy for Street Fighter V. So you can buy Champion Edition for $15, or the Champion Edition Upgrade for $11.99. What does that mean? Okay, but then there's also other content. Season 5 Character Pass is $13.99. The Season 5 Character Pass. So if I'm buying Champion Edition, which is the last version of the game that was sold outright as a complete game, what is the Season 5 Character Pass? Right? How is that different from the Champion Edition Upgrade Kit bundle? Okay? But there's also the Season 5 Premium Pass for $22.99. All right? Hashtag ad. So you're looking at all this, you're like, wait a minute. This is so... all right, all I want to do is I want to buy Street Fighter V and get the content. I want all the characters and any other modes that were available in the game. I want it all so I can play it all. If I don't have all the characters, how the fuck am I going to know how to play the game online against people? If I don't have half the characters, I won't even understand them because I can't play as them, right? So basically, I want the game and all the content. So how do I get it? The answer is, there is no answer, because it actually depends on how you get the game. I know that sounds stupid because it is. So allow me to explain. Okay? Champion Edition includes all the characters as of like 2020. Okay? So it's all the content, all the characters through 2020. But then in 2021, they announced a Season 5 character pass that included 4 more characters. Alright? The last 4 characters of the game, and then they basically said, we're now cutting off development of the game. There's no more development. So if you are asking, how can I just buy the game and get all the content? The answer is, guess what? You can't. There's actually no way to purchase Street Fighter V in one transaction and get the whole game. It's fucking impossible. They didn't make it that way. They made it that you have to constantly be buying all these different things over time, to the point now where if you are a newcomer and want to buy Street Fighter V, you can't. You have to try to do research to figure out what different things you need to buy. Okay? So again, looking at this fucking mess of a laundry list of shit that's on here. Okay? Alright, well, I want to buy Street Fighter V. Okay, buy the Champion Edition bundle. Okay, but wait, there's 4 characters missing. Alright, well then you should buy the Season 5 character pass to add on to that Champion Edition bundle. But wait a minute. Previously, I was a PlayStation Plus subscriber, and I got Street Fighter V for free under PlayStation Plus, and I'm still a PlayStation Plus subscriber. Should I buy the Champion Edition of the game? No, because you have the base Champion Edition, excuse me, I already screwed up. You have the base version of the game already, because you got it free on PS Plus. You don't need to buy the Champion Edition of the game. You need to buy the Champion Edition upgrade kit bundle for $11.99. Oh, so that'll get me to the latest version of the game? No! That just gets you to 2020. Then, you also, on top of that, have to buy the Season 5 Character Pass for $13.99 to get the characters that were released in 2021. Oh. Oh, okay. Wait. Hold on. Well, but what's the Season 5 Premium Pass? What is that? If I buy the Season 5 Premium Pass, do I get all the content? No! No! You don't! You can't get all the content just by buying that. You can't. So you're looking at this like, what the fuck? But ladies and gentlemen, see, this is what happens. This is what happens when you rip off your fucking customer base. Okay? Because this is literally what happens when they had a plan and they decided we want to milk the fuck out of this game for every dollar rather than make Street Fighter 6. Because here's what really happened. Street Fighter V came out in 2016, alright? And it didn't do well. Street Fighter V was a flop compared to Street Fighter 4. It dramatically undersold compared to what had sold in Street Fighter 4. So all the people, the bigwigs at Capcom, basically got pissed off that this game did so poorly. So what they decided to do was release a ridiculous amount of expansion content. Every year, there was another pass, another fucking pass of characters that you had to buy. Now, the funny part is, people who bought the game originally were told, you will never have to spend money on DLC characters because you'll be able to earn in-game credits to get the characters for free. Okay? I have something to respond to that with. Bullshit. It was a blatant fucking lie. Okay? Now, I'm not saying you couldn't earn stuff in-game for free, but they made it so hard to earn the characters that you would have to grind so much. You would have to play Street Fighter V so fucking much to earn all the characters for free. You'd rather spend the fucking money. Who wants to sit there grinding again and again and again and again and again? Think about how much you have to play hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of hours to unlock a character and a couple cosmetics for that character. When they announced the game, the selling point of Street Fighter V was, when you buy Street Fighter V, you won't ever have to spend any more money. You'll get all the content of the game for free forever. They actually sold it like that. I remember. They advertised it like that. And then within a year, that entire thing was thrown out because the game didn't sell well. Capcom decided to fucking rip off the consumer. So every year, spend more money, spend more money, spend more fucking money. Okay? And it's ridiculous because it would be one thing if there was like 1 or 2 expansions and they were planned out. But Capcom just kept rolling with it. Everyone's like, okay, season 1, you got a few interesting characters. They're like Sagat or whatever. And what's his name? The guy with the fucking top hat looks like Abe Lincoln. Oh, that's cool. All right, so now you're going to work on Street Fighter 6, right? Oh, no, well, now it's time for season 2. So now we're adding in some classic characters from back in the day that maybe you wanted in the game that weren't in there. We're going to add in fan favorites like Jury or whatever. Oh, that's cool. So now you're working on Street Fighter 6, right? Well, no, actually, it's time for season 3 now. So now we keep... And the thing was, if people basically just said, enough of this shit. If they just said, you know what, here's the deal. We like Street Fighter. We want to keep it alive. All right? We do. We support Capcom. We like the fact that even though maybe they didn't have the talent this time around to pump out a game as good as Street Fighter 4, at least they tried. The graphics of the game are quite good. It sucks that the game released with tons of input lag. It was one of the biggest failed launches of any fighting game ever. It didn't even work for 2 months. But, they did get the game back on track. They got a competitive scene for it. It's good on them for supporting it as long as they did. All right? But, how fucking long are you going to ask us to keep spending money on the same fucking game? Seriously. How many times do you have to keep buying an expansion pass for this game? And by the way, every time that there was an expansion pass, they rebalanced the game. So not only do you have to learn 4 new characters every year that they're adding to the game, but then they're rebalancing the game every time it happens. And now you got to relearn your characters from the ground up. It feels like another game, you know? Now, by the way, it's not that Capcom had never done this before. All right, it's not. It's not that Capcom had never done this before. All right, by the way, here you go. Everyone who's complaining about this segment, shut up the fuck up right now, because I'm going to time every one of you out. Because this is my podcast. It's something interesting to me, and some people are interested. If you don't like it, come back after the podcast is over. What are you here on a podcast for if you don't want to hear a topic that I want to discuss? Shut the fuck up and stop complaining. I'm tired of people coming on my podcast to shit on it. Fuck off. Really, come back when it's gameplay, and then you'll be entertained, or just leave. Don't be here for a fucking podcast. I'm tired of your dumb shit. Okay. So, that all this being said, it's not that this is the first time this has happened. Take a look at Street Fighter 2. Street Fighter 2 has 5 versions. 5, okay? Original Street Fighter 2 World Warrior, Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition, Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting, Super Street Fighter 2, and Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. In fact, the game spans 2 different arcade setups. The original games ran on CPS 1, and then when it hit Super Street Fighter 2, the whole thing upgraded to a different board you had to buy to keep playing Street Fighter 2 called the CPS 2 board. Okay? So, arcade owners, admittedly, had to upgrade the shit out of Street Fighter 2 to keep it pertinent. Just like Street Fighter 5. Every year you got to download a new pass, new characters, new rebalances, right? Well, maybe, maybe not, because here's why. The reason that this was actually happening in arcades is because people found if they didn't upgrade this game, this competitive game, people found it getting stale. After playing it for 6 to 8 months of the same game, the same characters, people were like, all right, so I've seen it all. I played it competitively. I want something new. So when Champion Edition came out, it was refreshing. There were new colors. There were new characters. The gameplay mechanics were rebalanced. And now it felt like a refreshed new game again. Arcade owners liked this because it got people coming back to the arcades who maybe had played for a few months, got bored, and left. Now they were coming back to play the new version of the game. And every time there was a new version of Street Fighter 2, this would happen. There would be a resurgence in the arcades of people coming in to play games. And by the way, the hardware upgrades to go from the original 3 Street Fighter 2 games to the last 2 actually were significant to the point where that CPS 2 board was then used for many future games, including the entire Versus series. You know, X-Men Children of the Atom, Marvel Superheroes, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom 1. All those games were played on CPS 2. So it wasn't like, oh, I bought the CPS 2 board just for 2 Street Fighter 2 games. I was stuck. Oh, by the way, the Street Fighter Alpha series also ran on that. So it was like a good investment for an arcade owner to buy that new thing. Okay? So, back in the day, the reason they had so many different versions of a game was to refresh the game and make people come back to the arcades to play them. Okay? Now look at Street Fighter 4. okay? Street Fighter 4 Vanilla was a good game, but a lot of people complained that sadly Sagat was way overpowered, way too easy to use, and easily the best character in the game, and they needed to fix it. So then there was Super Street Fighter 4, Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition. Then there was another version, and then finally there was Ultra Street Fighter 4. So yes, over a course of like 3 to 4 years, there was a lot of versions of Street Fighter 4. All right? And yes, there was definitely cases where you had to buy the new version. But there wasn't like 5, 6 fucking times you had to do that. It was maybe twice. All right? It wasn't that serious of a deal. Like literally, to stay caught up with Street Fighter 5, you had to buy the base game and then every yearly expansion to stay with it. And every time it was like another 20, 30 bucks. It wasn't cheap. Like right now, this Season 5 expansion or whatever it's called is, what, $14? But it wasn't that at launch. It was way more expensive. They've dropped the price over time because now the game is out of development. So in reality, to actually buy all of Street Fighter 5, you would have spent $60 at launch, and then each year bought an expansion pass. You would have probably at this point spent $200, $300 to get the whole game, okay? But still, this begs the question. Taking a look at this fucking mess on my left, okay? How do you buy Street Fighter 5 today and get all of the content? Are you ready? Because I'm going to tell you, in case you're actually interested in this. I don't know who the fuck would be. All right? And I got to give special credit to my moderator, Black Ops, who actually saw me post up about this on Twitter yesterday and actually sent me this information. Okay? So here it is. Champion Edition, which is what you see here. Champion Edition is the one for $14.99. Gives almost every costume, except for ones that were limited time only. So I guess seasonal costumes that were limited time only, you can only buy them during a certain season or something. And it gives you all the characters except for the last 4 characters, Oro, Akira, Dan, and Liu. So again, if you buy Champion Edition, you've bought the game until the end of 2020. Okay? And all the necessary content needed. Now you might say, well, what is that CE upgrade kit? That's if you have original Street Fighter V and you never upgraded it. You had the old version, and again, original Street Fighter V at one point was offered free for PS Plus. So if you had actually gotten it free on PS Plus at one point, and you haven't played it in a million years, you could spend the discount, you save a few bucks. With $3, save $3, get the Champion Edition upgrade rather than buying the outright Champion Edition, and then you get all that content. Okay? There you go. But, okay, what's next? The Character Pass that's listed there, Season 5 Character Pass, $13.99, that will give you the 4 characters that are missing, Oro, Akira, Dan, and Liu. And essentially, that'll get the game fully upgraded to the final version that they ended on and said, we're not updating the game anymore, no more patches. Okay? Now, Premium Pass. Season 5 Premium Pass, which is a lot more expensive. Well, it's odd to explain it. If anyone here might have played like Dead or Alive 2 or League of not Dead or Alive 2, Dota 2 or League of Legends, it's essentially Capcom's event-style pass. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I didn't play those games. I don't even know what that means. You know? But anyway, I don't play those games. Yeah, and so I don't know anything about what those passes are at all. I'm looking, I'm like, I don't know. So maybe what that means is there's, I don't know, cosmetics, extra cosmetics, or other things. I don't know. So your options are $15 plus $14. So $29 plus tax would get you the full game. Or if you already own the old version, then it would be $12 plus $14. But if you truly want all the content, then it's actually $15 plus $23. I think. And again, I could be wrong. This is the problem when you nickel and dime your customer for so long. And it's weird. It's fucking weird. If you talk to someone who has hardcore been a fan of Street Fighter V since the beginning, they will act like this is not an issue or a problem and it's nothing. Oh, you're way over exaggerating, Phil. And again, I used to be part of that community. I used to have those blinders on. I used to protect myself from any criticism. Okay? I did. I was just like, I don't want to hear it. Street Fighter is the best. Street Fighter is awesome. You know, so I would, anytime someone would say, what is with this business practice of Capcom expanding their game 17 times and every time they charge you more money and what, you know, now I look at it from the outside and I'm like, this is ridiculous. The fucking game came out in 2016. It's 2022. And you're telling me you have to buy all these expansions and shit just to get, why do they not have a version that has everything in it? Why not just sell Street Fighter V Complete Edition? Here it is for $30 on a disc or digital download. The whole game, all the characters, every piece of cosmetic possible, all together. Here it is to say thank you for being a great supporter of content. No, can't do that. But that's the problem with these companies. They didn't care about that. When Capcom made Street Fighter V, it was a flop. So they said, how do we make more money because we didn't sell enough copies initially? We'll just keep expanding it every year, and all those suckers are going to keep spending $20, $30 every fucking year and line our pockets with all the money we should have made at launch, but we didn't because the game sucked at launch. And that's literally what they did, and people just couldn't see out through it. I don't know how. I don't know how you get so obsessed with a game or a community that, like, you can't see past the scam. It really was a fucking scam. Every year you had to spend that money to get 4 more characters. And you have to relearn the game and all that shit. And the game wasn't even fucking good. That's the thing that gets me on top of all of it. It wasn't good. It had some of the worst game mechanics of any numbered Street Fighter. I mean, not to say that Capcom hasn't made worse games. They absolutely have made worse Street Fighter games. Like fucking Capcom Fighting Jam and shit. Oh, fuck. But still, the point I'm making here is it's not even a great game. And these people got so hooked on it because it was the only Street Fighter game available that they just kept spending. And they don't see it for what it really is. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Anyway, guys. Anyway, let's now get the shout out, shall we? All right. Let's get to some shout outs here. And by the way, thank you to everyone chilling with me on the pre-stream. Thanks to everyone who's liked the stream so far. We're almost up to 100. I think we're at 87 likes. Again, it would be great if we get to 100 likes. That's my goal for every stream now. All right. Shout-outs wise, let's start off with the YouTube side of things, okay? So let me refresh this because this doesn't look correct. Here we go. We start off with Cheb, who has re-upped his membership for 3 months and says, woohoo! Thank you, Cheb, for the re-upping of your membership. I appreciate that. Happy Tart did a super chat saying, why do you talk about the same schedule every day? I don't. My schedule changes every day. In fact, if you haven't noticed, over the past couple of weeks, I've had a lot of interactive schedules where you guys are determining what we're going to be playing. So if I didn't bring that up, people wouldn't know to vote to determine what games I play. So you don't know what you're talking about. Chicken Man did a super chat and says, not everyone works during the week or works at home. I know, I just said that. I said, if you're working at home, you should be home working, not on the roads. What I don't understand is how there's so many people on the roads during times when traditionally, people would be at home working. A weekday at 2 p.m. It's the middle of the workday. Why is the road crowded with people? What the fuck are they all doing? Chicken Man did a super chat and says, you know people drive around for jobs also? That is correct. They do. You're absolutely right. Truckers drive around and deliver product. Outside of that, most people are required to stay inside of a certain location or a building or an office. They're not required to just drive around all day. Unless you're, okay, one other thing. I would say DoorDash, Uber Eats, that kind of thing. Yes, those people are driving, okay? But that's not everyone. Happy Tart did another super chat. Says, this is an issue the audience doesn't care about. No, Happy Tart, it's an issue you don't care about. You are not the entirety of my audience. You realize that in the 14 years I've been a content creator, there's many people who've tuned in to watch me do fighting game stuff over the years, and they might find a topic that's a little bit different intriguing. Just because it's not in line with everything I'm normally doing every day on stream doesn't mean it's not an interesting topic to talk about on a podcast. If you don't like the topic, you can leave the podcast and come back later, but just sitting here incessantly bitching in super chats just makes you look like a little, you know, entitled child. You're very annoying. Fruits07 did a super chat. He says, was talking about Xbox Series X controller is epic. Huh? Was talking about Xbox Series X controller is epic. I'm not sure what that means, Fruits. I think you've lost me here. But, okay. Thanks for the super chat. I really don't even know what else to say to that. I get the feeling there's a whole part of that message missing or something. It's very odd. Okay. All right, now we go back over. We'll do some tips that came in today. Our first tip of the day was from Eternal Napalm, who took me $2.50, and he says the following. I hear you say you're planning to play Elden Ring on Xbox? From Software games are meant to be played on PlayStation. You deserve to take your rightful place among us in Bloodborne and Demon Souls community. The truth of the matter is, in this case, I don't think there will be a difference. Now, we don't know yet. Digital Foundry has not come out with their results, right? I'll put it this way. I'm open to playing it on either console. I don't really care, honestly. I don't think there's going to be a big difference because it seems like a lot of these cross-platform games are performing equally on these consoles. But personally, if they do perform equally, I want to play it on the Series X. I just like the controller better. Just being honest here. And I really enjoyed playing on my Series X. And I want to play it on there. If it's the same. If it's proven by, again, like Digital Foundry comes out and says, oh god, the game runs like way better on PlayStation 5, then I'll definitely play it on PS5. I want to play the best version. Okay? I definitely want to look at the best version, right? Carlos says, is YouTube glitched? Because a bunch of likes have disappeared, and now it shows only one person watching. I guess it was because, oh yeah, it just happened to me too. Look at that. Look at that glitch. That is a crazy glitch. It just says one person watching now for me too. And now it's back to 407. Yeah, that's a weird glitch. I guess YouTube's going crazy today. YouTube's up to its old antics, man. I'm just curious if I refresh my channel page. Let's see here. No, my channel page is normal. Like, I refreshed my YouTube Studio page, and that looks fine. That was, yeah, it went down to 1, and then it went back up. Yeah, I think YouTube is having some issues today. A few hiccups. Seems okay. Like I said, I'm clicking all around. Everything seems to be working. It just seems to be some kind of a weird visual glitch. How nice. Okay. So anyway. Yeah. I am totally open to playing Elden Ring on either console. If the consoles are equal, then I'm probably going to play it on Xbox Series X. If there is a given advantage to either console, like again, if Digital Foundry or someone else comes out and says we tested it and it definitely runs better here than here, then I'll play it on that. That is the cool advantage that I can play on either console. And I like that. I like having that flexibility. If you remember, what ended up happening with Dark Souls 3 was a big debacle that lasted a long time, is that Dark Souls 3 leaked early in Japan. For some reason in Japan, the game released like 3 weeks ahead of time the rest of the world. So everyone figured out a way to download the Japanese version to their American consoles, even though it was the American version. Because you could download the Japanese version and change the language to English, and then it's the English version. It was literally the English version, 100%. There was no reason to delay the release here 3 weeks, besides they just wanted the Japanese to get it early, which was really fucking stupid when you think about it. So everyone did this. Like, everyone was getting the game early to the point where people were putting up playthroughs and shit, and then people were like, Phil, you gonna do it too? And I was like, I guess I should, because if I don't, other people will have a full playthrough of this thing up on the internet before I've even touched it. By the way, today that doesn't matter anymore. Today, everyone has a fucking full playthrough of every game up or weeks early because of the way that games leak now. People get advanced copies because they're the chosen people to promote the game and shit by these companies, which is fucked up when you think about it. So today, I don't give two fucks about it anymore. I just don't. I'll play it when it comes out. I'll play it at my own pace. Fuck everybody else. But back then, it was a major concern. I was a full-time YouTuber. Getting the videos out right away was the way I made money. So I had to do it. So I downloaded the Japanese version and everything. If you remember, the only way to do this was on Japanese Xbox Live. So I had to basically play the game on Xbox One. That was a huge fucking mistake. Seriously. Dark Souls 3 on the Xbox One sucked ass. It had terrible frame rate issues. It had monstrous delay of the controller in certain cases. What would happen is you get to certain boss fights where so much would be going on the screen, the actual console would chug and lag. The memory would be so fucking like full that the game would actually have issues with slowdown and input drops and shit. It was a terrible version of the game. It really was. And it sucks because I played the entire original game like that. I liked it, but man, then when I played it years later, right? When I played it years later, I loved it. I played it on PlayStation. I thought the game was amazing. I was like, wow, when you actually have responsive controls and not constant slowdown and frame drops, the game is actually way more fun, you know? So, it is what it is, you know. I'm definitely not going to put myself through that shit. I'm going to definitely play on whatever the best version is, for sure. So, Chicken Man has sent me $1.50. Says, FYI, everyone in the country is having store shortages. The truck delays have nothing to do with snow. It's the DC for these stores don't have the product. You mean distribution centers. Actually, you are correct in some parts of the country, but that's not the case nationwide. For example, where I live in Seattle area. In Seattle area, a lot of the distribution centers are here. They're right here. They have the product. They just can't get the truckers to drive the product to the stores. All right? Other places, that's the case. Like, I talk to my parents every week, and what they've essentially told me is that basically, they have not seen a lot of things actively on the store shelves for like a year and a half. Things as simple as you would think is so dumb. Cat litter. Yes, cat litter. They can't buy at the store. They have to order it online because the fucking stores don't have cat litter. That's ridiculous. But stores here have tons of cat litter. The problem here is literally drivers. The drivers are all backed up. But other places, it's a little different. See, I actually live in a hub where all the deliveries come. Amazon hub is right here. So if you order something from Amazon, chances are you're going to get it right away because you live here, while other people are ordering from Amazon and being told you can't get the item for 2-3 weeks because they have to actually get it and deliver it, you see? It's a little different here. So. Okay. I just want to make sure. Oh, Fruits07 did another super chat and says, I was talking about the actual controller. It's nice. See, I agree with you. I prefer very much the Xbox Series X controller to the PlayStation 5 controller. It's less bulky. The PS5 controller is a little bit more chunky. This one's a little lighter, less bulky, has a better grip, has a nice texture on the back that I really like when I'm playing games on it. Feel like I got a really secure grip on it. I like the thumbstick positioning better on this controller, having one slightly up and to the left and one further down to the right. And the D-pad also is quite good. So I like this for a lot of reasons. The one thing I don't like, my fucking trigger sticks. Now, it's not doing it right now, but on and off it does. It sticks, and it's very fucking annoying that I haven't even owned this thing for, what, 6-7 months, and the trigger's already sticking. Like, that's bad. And I heard that what it is there's actually an adhesive foam label on the inside that makes it so that when you click this, you're not getting plastic on plastic connection, but it wears out. And when it wears out, it could, like, bunch up, and then it causes that issue. Annoying. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we covered a plethora of issues here on today's PreStream podcast. We have over 100 likes already, and I haven't even played the game yet. 2 thumbs up for that. Thank you guys so very much for your support. I think it is time to end the PreStream and to get started with the Forgotten City, which you guys voted I should play today. I'm excited. The game is very unique and interesting, and I can't wait to jump into it. So thank you all for a great PreStream. Thanks for listening. To those who didn't sit here and bitch about a fun topic on the podcast. Oh my God. Phil's talking about a topic that's not directly related to a game he's playing right now. Oh, how horrible. You obviously don't know what the fuck a podcast is. But anyway, all right, let's get started, my friends. Sound good? All right, very nice.